Mommy, stop. Hi.
Hello.
How's it going?
Good. How are you?
Fine, thanks.
Hey, y'all.
Hi.
All right, we got 5 already. Cool. All right. Before we get started today, I would love to hear from everybody at least once about a challenge that they've had with their trial classes. Let's see. Who can start first? Natalie, can you start?
Yes, I will start. To be honest, I thought I was doing well, but I didn't really get a lot of feedback, so they kind of just took me off everything. But I would say a challenge would be adjusting to the different levels, from one to the next. So I think sometimes I feel I'm better with the younger kids because that's who I worked with. So when I get older ones, it's a challenge for me to kind of think, like, what would they think is fun? So just changing the levels in between.
Yeah, especially if you have one after another. If I go from level 0 to level 4, it can be kind of jarring for the brain.
Right.
Definitely. Yeah. Sonia, do you have something?
I think that going from different levels is a challenge as well, but I think that the thing that challenges me the most, and maybe I've just been unlucky, I don't know, but I've had a lot of kids that just don't want to engage with me. Usually they give me little kids, like even 3-4-year-olds, and I don't know if it's shyness or nervousness or just total lack of interest in learning English. But I've had several trial classes, where no matter how enthusiastic I am and how much, extra data I'm pulling off Google, I just get like blank nothing. And then the parents have to get involved and almost like, shame them or force them to answer. And it's so awkward. It's just not fun for anybody.
That
definitely
is really disheartening for sure. Yeah. Amel, do you have something to share?
To be honest, my challenge is, I don't know. Yeah, my challenge has been sort of fitting in the 28 minutes within the 28 minutes. I find that I still run over.
Yeah.
So time management has been challenging for me.
Yeah, that's definitely something that's hard to get used to, especially since every kid is different and they go at different paces. Are you trying to do all of the whole material, or just trying to finish your sort of lesson that you're teaching at the same time?
I'm trying to finish all the slides. So I kind of oscillate. Sometimes I'm like, okay, I think I can finish them all. Or sometimes I'm like, abort. I have to just deal with the fact that I'm not going to get through all these.
Yeah. Sometimes there are just way too many slides especially for the kids that are at a lower level than what the curriculum is at. Caitlin, are you able to share?
Sorry, we're not having the best morning, apparently.
Oh, sorry.
He's in a mood. It's okay. I try to be like really bubbly and fun, and then sometimes I don't get kids that I would say are boring, but like they're just they're just like
shy.
Yeah, well, not exactly shy. Like they'll answer me, and they'll repeat, but they're just kind of melatonin, just like it's kind of draining. Like I'm trying to be fun and make it fun for them, and they're just not having any fun. Like I think that's the hardest for me.
Yeah, that sounds a little bit like what Sonia's experiencing as well.
Yeah,
like
it
giving
does.
so
Yeah.
much and not getting very much back.
Yeah.
Patricia, do you have something to share with us?
Well, something that I've been experiencing is that sometimes the kids are like really tired. So they're like falling asleep, they're lay down, and then you have to like really try to, I don't know, wake them up or something. And then I see the parents are always trying to sit them down, but it's like they're tired. I don't know. Because usually I get like really, well, Beijing time, like really late trial classes for the kids, sometimes 9 o'clock p.m. and they're like 4 or 5 year olds. So they're like really tired. So that's basically the thing. So I try to have a lot of dynamic things, games and stuff, to try to wake them up. I'm always like, okay, let's start running and let's do, try to, I don't know, wake them up. That's the thing. That's the most challenging for me, that they seem to be tired.
Christine, do you have something to share? Oh, Christine, I can't hear you. You're not on mute, but I can't hear you for some reason.
Me now?
Yeah, I got you now.
Okay, so I would love to get the person in the sales department who keeps giving me 4-year-olds at first grade material. That's a toughie. And so I find the trial classes, I have made an expanded PowerPoint for every one of the 6. Sometimes I get to use it, sometimes I don't. If I have a 4-year-old that can't do my body, then we do a lot of songs and stuff. I've found some other songs. If they're not interested, show them your toes. It always cracks them up. It always cracks them up. They also like my puppet Lamb Chop. See, I'm dating myself. My puppet used to be on TV. So
I remember Lamb Chop.
Yeah, well, then you're dating yourself too. But as far as kids not being effervescent, that's the Chinese culture. I have taught Chinese children for 2 years before I came to 31abc, and I wrote curriculum for the school too. Some of them are taught to be humble and quiet, and you're a stranger. They just got to know you. The thing I find the most irritating is the parents who won't stop telling the kids the answers. So I have occasionally talked to the parents and said, your little one's doing great, but let her talk to me so we can get to know each other. But I find that always knowing that if I get the slides done, I have extra material, or if the slides are totally wrong. There are a couple slides I hate. I hate the one where we're to ask them what their mothers and fathers look like. They've got brown eyes and brown hair. So I don't do that one. And I hate the one in Day by Day that the movie shows them playing video games 5 times. So we always talk about that too.
I just watched one of those. Yeah.
Right now, I am teaching preschool through 3rd grade, and some of them get through the class in 20 minutes, so that having prepared expanded PowerPoint material helps. And it also helps me when I get to day 6 and do the review, because I can spend extra time in my expanded material making sure they know that vocabulary. So
that's what you do in a regular classroom environment.
Yeah,
Like
but even in the trial class, I have created 6 different PowerPoints to go along with the trial classes.
It sounds like you're well prepared for that challenge. Well done.
Well, what do you do when they run out of the room and slam the bedroom? There's nothing you can do. If they won't come out to meet the puppet, and personally, I think we should be paid. If we show up in the classroom, I sat there for 7 minutes today, and then the parents decided to cancel. I should get something.
Yeah, you should write an email to HR about that.
Oh, I have, but they're getting another one today. In my other class, in my other school, which unfortunately went bust, if we were in the classroom and the kids didn't change, we got paid. If it canceled less than 24 hours, we got half. And frankly, I think that's a lot fair. I've been teaching for 25 years. I've taught elementary, junior high, high school, and adults. So,
All right.
Don't we get paid half if they don't show up? I thought we got paid half.
we get paid half if you've been there 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Well, once somebody on the staff tells you they're gone at 7, I can't say, please talk to me for 3 more minutes.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to ask Vanessa to share.
What?
Vanessa G.
Okay. Yeah, there's 2 Vanessas. Yeah, no, I concur with everything that's been said previously. I've experienced almost every aspect of what everyone else has said in terms of parental coaching, which I understand that's a learning style. I don't discourage the parent. Sometimes it really helps the parent if they, especially for a more complex task, and it's a young student, like a 4 or 5-year-old, there needs to be some interpretation, especially at like a L0 or L1. But sometimes I find where it kind of becomes, there's a point at which it can become counterproductive if the parent is constantly, I won't say berating, but there's a point at which the encouragement starts to become a little bit directive. And sometimes it's actually an inaccurate direction, like it's not grammatically correct. You're like, oh, okay, okay, no. So in those occasions, what I've done is I've said no, I've actually spoken directly to the child and said, no, Sarah, you try. So sometimes my observation is the coaching can it can make the rapport a little more challenging to maintain. But in my regular classes, there's no problem. The rapport issue is a little bit more difficult in the trial classes. I hope that makes sense. And yeah, what else? Sorry.
You got it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, but generally, I mean, I agree with what everyone else has said. I've experienced, all those issues before. So, yeah.
All right, and last one, Mike, can you tell us what challenges you've had or what's your biggest challenge maybe?
Yeah, well, I've just started today. Today was my first trial. So,
Welcome.
yeah,
Yay.
like I can't tell much, but I can just say I can relate to every aspect of everyone said. Like today I had a parent was very pushy, was like, Patty, say that. Like I was like, I'm a teacher here, and but the kid enjoyed really. But I think the parent issues are one of the biggest problems, and distracted children. Like I had I had a child before, not like 2 of them actually, had a group lesson and they were playing video games. And that happens pretty often.
All right. Well, thanks so much for sharing, you guys. I really wanted to hear what you are having more difficulties with, because this is a 4-part series of training.
Randall,
Yeah.
Can I just say one thing?
Sure.
When I had children that were playing video games, I stopped. I just stopped for a minute and I said, are you ready to learn? Great. And the stars work wonderful, by the way. And I said, could we put the game down? And they did. And when I've had super pushy parents that I can't cajole to stop, I then talked to the staff, and they have called the parents. And I also mention it in the report that I want to bond with their child. And that seems to help.
Yeah, good feedback. Thanks, Christine. So one thing that I've noticed is that a lot of people are having the same kind of difficulties, and it's definitely something that I've experienced, and that's things that I've heard other coaches talk about. Sometimes you do get a child in your class that's not appropriate either for that time slot or for that level, and you have to bring out all kinds of flexibility to make it work. If you have problems that you're not sure how to cope with them, feel free to write about them on the WeChat group, and you can get some peer support from everybody in this group. You can either talk about it in the trial group, or you can talk about it in the big coach group, and then big coach group has some people who are more experienced and who have been with this company for longer, because this company does have their own kind of teaching philosophy. So you might get some feedback that doesn't make sense to you, and it might be because the teaching philosophy at 31abc is a little bit different than other companies. So feel free to use the WeChat group to help you with those challenges, is all I wanted to say about that. We could probably spend an hour talking about all the things that you guys listed, but we have a plan. So today I want to talk first about testing. Apparently, one of the problems that's come up in the last couple of months with trial classes is that coaches have been spending most of their energy in the trial classes teaching. And then when it comes to placing the child in the level, the child gets placed in the wrong level because there hasn't been enough testing during the trial class. So I want to go through some different opportunities that you have for testing the child during the class, and I'll show you some examples. We're also going to talk a little bit about teaching philosophy, and if we have time, we'll get to different teaching personas and what works for different kids. So let's start with, what did I say we're starting with?
Testing.
Thank you. I would, like, if I was in class, I would pretend that I was testing you to see if you're listening. But I
Get a star.
Thank you. You all get stars. All right, I've got it open. I'm just trying to share. I'm going to share my whole desktop, and please forgive me for the messiness.
Hey,
all
everybody's desktop is messy.
Okay, so here's a document that I came up with to highlight the different parts of the lesson that you can use for testing. Your first opportunity for testing is during the warm-up.
I'm not seeing anything but the tell me about a challenge.
Thank you. Let me just refresh my share here.
Can you email this to us?
Yeah, after this meeting, you'll get all of the documents that I show you today.
Thank you so much.
My pleasure. So your first opportunity, oh, everybody can see this now, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
First opportunity for testing a child's level is during the warm-up. You want to start with a really basic greeting. Hi, hello. Then you can move on to, how are you? What is your name? How old are you? What is your favorite food? Do you have any brothers or sisters? So what you want to do just from the beginning, first of all, they might not be comfortable with your accent. They might not have heard English through their iPad before. They might not be able to hear at the tempo that you're using. So you want to start by speaking really clearly, really slowly, and making a lot of eye contact, and start with the really, really easy stuff, and then keep asking questions until they fail. Check to see if they're understanding you. Notice how quickly they respond to your answers. If a parent is helping them, it's likely that they can't answer on their own. Sometimes the parents want to help and they don't let the child answer, but often the parents see their kids struggling for 1 second and then will jump in with the answer. So obviously there's a lot of different things that you can do to try to bring down the parent participation. But basically in general, if the parents are answering for them, they don't feel confident that their child can answer the question, and parents know their children more than you do. So that's a good indicator of that question was too difficult for them. Whether they can answer you in full sentences is another indicator during the greetings about what level they're at. Your second opportunity is in testing vocabulary skills. So don't assume that the sales department knows what the level of this child is. When they
don't.
When they prescribe a particular lesson for you to teach them, there might be 6 words in that lesson. The child might know none of those words, might know 3 of those words, or might know all of those words. So before you start teaching those words, check to see if they know them first. Otherwise, you're going to be wasting your whole lesson teaching them words that they already know, and the parent's not likely to sign up with you. They'll say, oh, that was too easy for them, so I don't want that teacher. But if you take a moment and say, what is this, what is this, what is this, wait for them and then test to see which words they know. Number one, you'll have something to report on in the little vocabulary part of their trial classes. Number 2, you'll know what to focus on. And if they know all the vocabulary, you can just skip that whole part of the lesson. You know, there's like 6 or 7 slides usually based on just the vocabulary. Skip that and go to the sentence parts and get to their zone of discomfort where they're actually learning. If they do know all the vocabulary, don't stop there. Find other pictures, either in the material or from Google Images. Like, let's say, for example, the topic is classroom, and you've got 5, 6 pictures. There's a desk, there's a chair, blah, blah, blah. If the kid knows all of those, go into Google Images and start bringing up pictures of classrooms and point to other things. The kid might know 100 things in the classroom. You won't know until you test them. Your third opportunity for testing is their ability to participate in different activities like sentence building and reading, which usually happens around 2/3 through the trial class. You'll see the sentence exercises or fill in the blank exercises. See if they can read something for you. I usually use the summary page for that at the end of the lesson. If they can read what's on the screen easily, then you know, okay, this is appropriate for their level, but you don't know if they can do more than that. So continue to challenge them, make a more complex sentence, either somewhere, find one in the material, have one ready on your computer, or just write one down, come up with it like, oh, I went outside today because I enjoy the sunshine. Can you read that sentence? Something like that. So here we have some examples of what I'm talking about. Let me bring up these movies for you. It's like the first one. Oh, the first one is me. One moment. Okay. Please bear with me. I'm just getting my timings here. We're going to 55.
Hey, Randall, do you think that in the long and short, they could come up with better pictures?
Do you mean like new material?
I just mean that we come from long pencil, short pencil, and then the kid's expected to evaluate whether it's big eyes or little or short eyes, and long hair or short hair, and big or small eyes. And some of them can, but a lot of them can't. Why don't they use something simpler that's definitely longer and shorter and definitely bigger?
Like an elephant and a rabbit or
yes,
something like that?
yes, exactly.
So in every lesson, there's something called issue here where you can send feedback.
Okay.
If you see a slide that you think isn't appropriate for the way it's being taught, you can write something directly to 31abc and say like,
Okay.
you should use this kind of picture instead.
Yeah.
And they do, like, since I've been with the company, I think I've gone through about 5 different sets of material, of curriculum. Like for every level, they just keep updating it. So
Sure.
the more feedback they get from the coaches, the better it's going to get. So
Okay, thank you.
and also use Google Images. I use the word versus a lot when I'm teaching opposites. So big versus small, and it'll bring up a whole screen of those things. All right, let's get to that movie. All right, so this is an example of using warm-up to test their abilities.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi. What is your name?
My name is Peter.
Oh, hi, Peter. It's nice to meet you. Say, it's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Thank you. Okay, Peter. Well, can you please tell me, how old are you?
How old are you?
How old are you, Peter?
How old are you? 你回答一下，你 how old are you?
Or you? Are you 2 years old?
OK， 好的。
Are you 100 years old?
I'm
You can.
8. I'm 8.
Oh, great. I'm 8. That's a perfect answer. All right. Good to meet you, Peter. And Peter, here is your first star for answering your first question. Now I see another student is here. Hello. What is your name?
My name is Jack.
Oh, hi, Jack. How are you?
你这是一队员，还有一个小朋友，2个小朋友一起同时上课。OK.
Jack, how are you?
I'm
I'm sad, thank you. And you?
That's great. Oh, thank you for asking. I'm also fine. Okay, Jack and Peter, why don't you say hi to each other? Peter, say, hi, Jack.
Hi, Jack.
Jack, say, hi, Peter.
Hi, Peter.
Awesome. Now, Jack, Peter told me that he's 8 years old. Jack, how old are you?
I'm 5, thank you.
Oh, listen carefully. How old are you? Oh, you're 6 years old. Okay, great. Now, since you're 6 and 8, I think you probably know this song.
Okay, so with that set of questions, I got a really good understanding of how well they could understand me and what their level was at. How are you versus how old are you? I heard the mothers jump in to help them answer the questions. So it really gave me a good idea about where I could go from there.
Can I ask you, do you remember where you put them? Like what you recommended for their level?
At the end of this, one of them went into level 2 and one of them was, I called him a high level 1.
Okay.
Yeah. But I think I often, because, you know, they're never exactly at a particular level. So I try to be a little bit more expressive. It's like he could do level 1, but his reading is at a level 2 level or something like that.
Can we do, so we can do that? We can say, maybe ready for level 2, but with the lack of sentence structure, I would start him in level 1 and he'll progress quickly.
Absolutely. And that will give the sales staff more information, because a lot of time they won't put them at the beginning of level 1. Maybe they'll have a class that's like level 1 unit 6. And then
good.
Into that class.
That's good to know.
All right. I tested reading and ability to follow a modeled exercise next. Let's do 15 here.
On that song, before you play that song, do you teach them head, hands, knees, toes, that?
I try to get a feeling for the kids themselves, and I also check to see how long I have and what's going on. Sometimes my introduction lasts a little bit too long and I don't want to spend a long time on the song. I also check to see, like, if the kids are, some kids are just amazed that they're talking to a white person online and they'll just do whatever you do. And those are the kids that are really going to follow your instructions about singing a song. And some kids are like, I don't try to teach them a song if they're not really looking.
Okay.
Depends on the kid. All right, so here's another example of testing.
Peter was answering too. Good job. All right, now who's going to tell me the answer to this? You have to choose a word to go in the sentence. Oh, Jack, can you tell me which word goes here? Blue, black, brown, or pink?
Brown.
Okay, Jack says it's brown. Peter, are her eyes brown?
Blue.
Blue. I think Peter was correct. Those were blue eyes. Okay, Peter, please read this sentence. He has
blue eyes.
Well done. You get a star. All right, let's find another question. Ooh, this one has 2. You can each do 1. Jack, please do the first one. You have to choose long or short. She has blabla hair. Which one is it?
Excuse me, I'll be right back.
Great. Now read the sentence. She
has long hair.
Great job. All right, Peter, the second one is for you. Let me give Jack his star. There we go. All right, Peter, is it big or small? She has blah blah eyes. Which word? Go ahead, Peter.
She has big head.
Big eyes? I agree. Good job, Peter. Jack has big eyes too. Okay, and there's your star. Okay, now everybody has to make one sentence. What's a sentence? Monkey, I already told you. A sentence is many words together. Oh, can I make a sentence? Sure. Monkey, make a sentence about picture 2. Okay. He has big shoulders. Yes, he does have big shoulders. All right, now Jack, please make a sentence. You can talk about picture number 1 or 2. All right. Monkey said he has big shoulders. Can you tell us something else? Maybe you can talk about this boy. He has what? Jack. You can talk about his eyes or his hair. What does he have?
So when it comes to testing sentences and ability to follow instructions, I tend to use a model and then try to throw them in and see if they can swim. And then when they can't swim, then I coach them through it. Like now I'm giving him ideas. You can talk about his eyes or his hair or something like that. Sometimes if you test them too much, the parents get uncomfortable and can't finish teaching them what you're talking about. That's actually a complaint that we sometimes get from trial classes, is that, well, you said all these things and the kid never understood, so you just left it behind and went to the next thing. So you do have to, don't kind of start something that you can't finish, kind of have a plan for what you're going to get into there. Fortunately, I had enough time in my lesson to spend about 4 or 5 minutes on this slide. So I got to the end where I was able to ask them a question and they can make a whole sentence. Even, I think that in the end, I decided their sentences could be 3 or 4 words long. And that's what I was able to put in the report. All right, let's get to, oh, God bless.
God bless. God bless you.
Does anybody have a question at this point? Cool. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and take a look at this next one. This, I can't remember this girl's name.
Vanessa.
Thank you. The other Vanessa?
Yeah.
All right. So this is a really great example as well about testing at a higher level using the warm-up to test. And let me play it first and then I'll tell you my reaction.
Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Fine.
Good. My name's Vanessa. What's your name?
Kayla.
Kayla?
Yes.
Okay. Hi, Kayla. Nice to meet you. How old are you, Kayla?
11.
11. Ah, very nice. You speak good English.
Thank you.
How long have you been learning English?
When I started kindergarten.
Ah, okay. Very, very good. Very good. Do you like English?
Yeah.
Yeah. Why do you want to learn English? Why do you want to speak English?
I want to learn a new language.
Yeah. Why? Why do you think that's good?
So when you go to a new country and if you're asking people questions, it will be more easier.
That's good. That would be really good. Where would you like to go? What country do you want to visit?
I want to go to Singapore.
Oh, really? Nice. I have never been to Singapore. Why do you want to go to Singapore?
I don't know, but because a lot of my friends said Singapore is really fun, so I want to visit it.
Ah, okay. Very nice. Very, very good. Have you ever been to America? To the United States?
But,
Oh, you
but
have. Where did you go?
New York, Chicago, and Michigan.
Sheesh! Wow! What did you like the most? New York, Chicago, or Michigan?
Chicago?
Yeah? Why Chicago?
Because there's a camp, and the camp is really fun.
Oh, cool. You did camping with a tent and everything like that?
What?
You did camping with a tent and fire, camping like that?
There's like 7 to 15, I think.
7 to 15 what?
Years old. Children can all go there.
Oh, I see. Very, very cool. Awesome. That sounds really, really fun. What did you do at the camp?
I cannot really remember it because it was like 2.5 years ago.
Oh, yeah. So you were like eight or 9?
Yeah.
I see. Very cool. That was in Michigan?
No, Chicago.
Chicago. Cool. Very cool. I've been to Chicago. I've never been to Michigan. And I've been to New York. I really like New York. I like New York a lot. Very cool. Well, you speak wonderful English. I will try to help you to sound even more natural, okay? Like you are from England or Chicago. Okay? Let's see. So to start,
I consider this a very appropriate warm-up.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, she really got to know the girl quickly. She bonded with her. She gave her a lot of questions that challenged her to bring out her vocabulary, checked her English speaking skills. The girl was placed at level 3 for this lesson, but within a few minutes she realized that she could do much higher than that.
Yeah.
So she was able to adjust her lesson later to make it work for her. And she also I love that she specifically mentioned in a place where the parents could hear how she could help her. Yes, your English is really good, but I'm going to help you 1, 2, and 3. That's sometimes a challenge with kids whose English are really good. Like, how am I going to help this kid get any better in this half-hour thing? But natural speaking is what we do. All right.
I actually had this student, Randall. This is Natalie.
Oh, really? Oh my
Yeah,
God.
I had her, but when we switched to the new 31abc program, they took her out of my class, and I felt she was so difficult because I would try to help her sound, more natural and a native speaker, but she didn't apply it a lot. So it was hard for me to keep going back. And so I'm figuring that's why they took her out of my class, just because I just could not, for some reason, I cannot connect with older kids. So it's really difficult for me to actually get her excited because she just was not having, some days she was okay, but some days she just did not want to learn at all. And kind of just yes, no. And I'm trying to get her excited. And she's like, I don't care about the stars. I'm like, okay, well, she was just I wouldn't say she's odd, but she's, not the typical child that likes boy bands, just reading, library. So I don't know, do you have any advice as to how you can get an older one excited that's not really typically into I want to look at a boy band on YouTube, or I don't know if you have any advice for that.
Smart kids are really hard to teach.
Yeah.
Oh, I love them. I love them. Just start what is that kid interested in? And if I had her and she was interested in books, then we'd be talking about the great books that maybe she hasn't read yet.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think there are some of us that do better with little and some with older. It's just a natural tendency.
Yeah. and sometimes it's hard to make the switch. Right now I have all sort of older kids right now, and every once in a while I'll do a level 0 trial class, and it takes everything out of me because I'm used to speaking faster and talking about pop culture and stuff. So it's hard to make a switch. I think older and smarter kids and more advanced kids are more difficult. One of my tricks that I have in my pocket is teaching them English parts of speech and challenging them with words that I know they can't possibly know. Like things like, what do you call different machinery that you see on the side of the road, like cherry picker, excavator, just kind of remind them that I'm here to teach them something. Yeah, okay. Caitlin.
Yeah, I had a question about older students that are more advanced. So if they're doing really well and they just want to like talk to you, what's like the rule here about that? The other company I work for, like if the kid just wants to talk to you and like you just work on conversation, like that's okay. Is that okay here, or is it more like you have to do this lesson?
Learning objectives are important.
Okay.
So if the child can get through the whole lesson in 15 minutes, then you can use 15 minutes to have a conversation with them. Absolutely.
Okay, great.
Try to make the conversation about the topic.
Yes.
Or bring it into the learning objectives. Like for example, in this unit, I know that we are working on past participles. So try to, you know what I mean? Like incorporate that into your conversation.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah.
Thank you.
All right, this is an example of, she's testing her comprehension and her ability to see the relationship between words. She also gets to know how much she knows about parts of speech here.
Let's see. Well, how do you think he felt when he was working hard here and eating well?
He felt good.
He felt good, yeah. Maybe he felt, we could say, encouraged, right? He wants to keep going. He is happy. He's like, yes, I'm going to meet my goal. I am encouraged. Do you see the similarities of these two words, discouraged and encouraged?
They're antonym?
Yeah, very good. One means we don't have courage, we don't want to go on, and one means we have courage, we want to go on, right?
Yeah.
Very good, antonym. Let me give you a few stars. Good.
So this was a great example of her giving the student space to show her what she knows. How can you describe the relationship between these two words? And while also teaching her something, and then she calls attention to the fact that she taught her something.
Good job. Where did you learn your English?
Can you excuse me? Can you say it again?
Yeah. Where did you learn your English? Just in school?
And I have another class on Friday.
Oh, nice. Very nice. Okay. So now you can tell them I learned discouraged and encouraged.
Yeah, the parents know that they taught something. This is because she was, by this time in the class, she knew how advanced this girl was. She knew that she wasn't going to be teaching her much. So by the time she got to the vocabulary, she just kind of tested and helped her with a recall. I really like the way she dealt with it.
So that would be a good word to say for him. Very good. Good pronunciation. Good storytelling. Good storytelling. Very good. Let's go on to the next thing here. Okay, I think you probably know a lot of these. Let me see. I'm going to block these out. You probably know these parts of the body, but let's see. Do you know what the first picture is?
Ankle.
Ankle, very good. What about the second picture?
It's the...
Starts with a C. Maybe that will help you.
I don't know.
Okay. It's chin. Chin.
Oh.
You got that one? Yeah. Chin. Very good. Okay, what about the next picture?
Wrist.
Wrist. Very good. And do you know how to spell wrist?
WRIST.
Wow, look at you, girl. You are smart. Very good. Okay, what about the fourth picture? It's not your stomach.
So I love that she challenged her to also spell the word that is difficult to spell. I think the girl probably also knew wrist as well, chin as well, but she forgot, which I think a lot of level 4 is about getting the kids to use the words that they've learned over the past few years in school. They just don't speak English enough to use them. So trying to talk about a lot of different topics helps them with their recall. Any questions at this point? All right. I've got 2 documents to share with you right now. One of them is something that I made a year ago, which I've just updated. It's called a coach's to-do list, and you guys are going to get emailed this. This is just, especially when you start getting your trial classes signed up, and you might have like 4 or 5 classes in a row, sometimes it's easy to forget what you need to do before a class. So I've just laid it all out for you in case you kind of lost your mind that day or woke up late or whatever it is. It's just something that I made for myself, and then you guys can use it as you like. This is not saying you must do this at this time. This is just for your reference, and you can change it however you like. This tells you like when to punch in, when to look at all the different slides, keeping your smartphone handy, checking WeChat, how to set up your class. Just in case you have naughty kids, you should turn off the ability to draw before they get into the class, greeting your students, taking notes, preparing for the next class, writing reports. That's your to-do list. This is a really important document that helps understand a little bit more about the teaching philosophy of 31abc. Teacher talk time is a huge thing here. They really, like the ultimate goal is to have students talking 80% of the time and you talking 20% of the time. It's almost impossible in level 0, but as you get higher in the levels, it becomes more and more possible. And when you have your own class, as you take them through the units, you can train them to converse with each other, train them to ask each other the questions. We'll talk more about that once we get into regular class training. Right now, I just want to kind of focus more on trial class training, but to take a moment to look through this document because it does talk a lot about the things that are important to the company. This is the document that they use to calculate your bonuses. So part of what we get paid is for each class. When you get regular classes, you get a bonus depending on I don't know how many classes they look at or how many people look at them, but this is the document they use to score you. So this is what they think is important. Always smiling, getting your reports in on time, being punctual to class, using proper games and activities, building a fun class routine, encouraging students, attract the students' attention, getting to know the students as friends, allow students to have valuable discussions like within the class to each other, promoting harmony between the students, lots of all these things. So take a moment to take a look. You'll get that in the email as well. All right, let's take a look at some more fun stuff. I want to take a moment to talk about persona, which I think has a lot to do with whether a parent decides to enroll their child with a particular coach. It's really nice just to be yourself as much as possible, but you really need to pay more attention to what the kid is doing. And Sonia, I really liked the way that you described about how much effort you need to put in when a child isn't really giving you a lot. You need to put in more. So I'm going to show you an amazing example. Oh, I'm hearing some really weird audio here. I don't know if somebody's... Can I get a thumbs up? Can you guys hear me okay? Yeah, okay, cool, thanks. Get Luigi on. Luigi, I think, might be our hardest working coach. And I love his persona.
Kevin, hello.
You see, here, okay?
How are you? I've been expecting you. How you doing? Are you happy? Say Teacher Lou. Teacher Lou.
Teacher Lou. Teacher Lou.
Say hello, Teacher Lou.
Hello.
Oh, look at my friend. Say hello, Sylvester.
Hello.
Sylvester. Can you say Sylvester? His name is Sylvester, and I am Teacher Lou. And we're going to be teaching you about the body parts. Yeah, parts of the body, like head, ears, nose, and eyes. That is what we're going to do in today's class. Are you ready? Say, Teacher Lou, ready. Say, Teacher Lou, ready.
Teacher Lou.
Ready. Good. Okay. Now, Kevin, show me the.
This is kind of the opposite of the last class that we watched, whereas there's very little kind of getting to know you because it's obvious the kid is not saying anything. So he is really just trying to make the kid feel comfortable at this time.
Hands. We're going to play a game. Play a game. Show me the hands. In this hand, we're going to have a rabbit. Rabbit. Can you show me the rabbit? A little rabbit. Yeah. And like this. Show me the hands like this. Go rabbit and point to the rabbit. And then you go 1, 2, and change. Can you do this? 1, 2, and change. Show me. It's your turn. 1, 2, 3. Go. Yeah, Kevin. Bunny ears.
So I just got to take a quick look at my notes. I wish I had a printer for this. Luigi. Sorry. All right. And watch Luigi teach this song.
These are the eyes. Eyes, like Teacher Lou says. Eyes. Excellent pronunciation. And it's time to sing a song. We are going to stand up. Yeah, everybody stand up. Teacher Lou, stand up. Kevin, stand up. Ready? 1, 2. We're going to sing a song. And it says head, shoulders, knees, and toes. Are you ready? Ready? Say, Teacher Lou, go!
No.
All right, come on, everybody.
Head, shoulders, knees and toes, knees and toes. Head, shoulders, knees and toes, knees and toes. And eyes and ears and mouth and nose. Head, shoulders, knees and toes, knees and toes. One more time. Head.
This guy is working so hard, and I really love his persona. I love how much energy he's putting into it. He encourages the child to participate more by being over enthusiastic and very positive, which is obviously necessary with this very quiet child. Let's try this.
Head, shoulders, knees. Head, shoulders, knees. Go. Ah, good pronunciation. Look at Teacher Lou's mouth. Knees. You have to show me your teeth. Knees.
Knees.
Exactly. You have to open the mouth big, like a crocodile. Knees. Do it. Excellent. Wow, you got many points. Now say head.
I just don't see how a parent could say no to somebody who jumps around like that and puts obviously so much effort into teaching the child just 3 words for the whole lesson. And at the end of the lesson, the child really did pick it up. Any questions? All right. I have a couple other teachers that I really love their persona. I showed Alexa last time, but we were talking more about different issues. This is how she starts a class. Sorry, less coffee drinking, more talking.
I can't hear you.
来，儿子，过来，
Hi.
过来，过来。
Hi.
Hello. What is
Hello.
your name? What is your name?
What's your name?
Hi.
Hi.
What is your name?
What is your name?
My name is.
My name is Bob.
Hi, Bob. It's nice to meet you. It's nice to meet you, Bob. My name is Alexa. Alexa.
Alexa.
Good. It's nice to meet you, Bob. Are you okay?
Okay.
You're okay? Good. Bob, today we are going to talk about our bodies. Today we are going to talk about our bodies. Are you ready?
Yes.
Good. Nice. Good, Bob. We're going to watch a video. We're going to watch a video. Okay, here we go.
So just her whole demeanor, her sweet voice, her like smiling constantly. She's so kind and gentle, and speaking slowly, saying everything twice. It's another one of those situations where I just can't imagine. Oh, somebody can't see the video. Sorry. I just can't imagine the teacher not, or the parent not signing up for a class like that, and they did sign up for that class. We're just about done. I want to ask if anybody has any questions at this point. No? I would like to know if you guys feel like you have a good understanding of what constitutes a level, like what child you should put in level 1, what child you should put in level 2, or does anybody have problems with that?
Sometimes I have problems with that. I think actually today's training kind of introduced to me the idea that I might be mistaking that the children know something they don't know because the parents are feeding them answers. And so it might look like a level 2 to me. It's really a level 1 because they never could have come up with those answers without the parents coaching. Because I'm so used to the parents coaching, I have a lot of that in my regular classes. I almost tune it out and just try to engage with the child. So I think I do have to pay closer attention to their true level.
Okay. Yeah, that is a really good indicator if the parents are helping. If the, we do have a PowerPoint. I don't know if I have it right here available. There is a PowerPoint that shows what a child should be able to do at level 0, what a child should be able to do at level 1. Do you guys have a document that says that?
I haven't, yeah.
Okay, good. And Linda also just sent me a bunch of videos that shows examples of children at different levels. Let's just take a look at a couple of them. Oh, he's mine. No, he's not. I thought that was my kid. Oh, I didn't pre-download those. I wasn't prepared. Oh no, I didn't prepare. Okay, sorry. I have a question. Have you reviewed each of us yet as turns of persona? Can you give us some ideas about how we were doing? Okay, so I have not seen, I think, most people's trial classes. It's not really part of what I have been hired to do at this point, but it's something I can bring up with Linda if you guys need personal feedback. And maybe what you can do is, if you think that you want some advice on a trial class that you've done, you can message me on WeChat and say, I'm not sure about the class that I just did. You should tell me what time it was at and what day it was at. And you can say, like, please look at this and tell me what you think. I'm not sure if we're going to be doing that kind of one-on-one thing, but I can definitely bring it up to the staff if people need some like one-on-one advice on that. Yeah, so just generally the thing that I've noticed about trial classes that get signed up versus trial classes that don't get signed up is how hard the coach seems to be working, how well the child glues to the coach, and that usually happens in the first few minutes. So the first few minutes are really important. Test their levels, try to find something that they like to talk about. If you can make them laugh, that's great. Have an arsenal of some Google images like funny cats or something to get to, make a little joke. See if you can interact with them with your toy or any other kind of fun little bribey kind of things to show them to get their attention as soon as possible. I have a couple, just Kelly. I just want to show you guys Kelly before we go because she's really good, especially with the lower levels. Here's how Kelly starts a class.
Are you monkey?
Hi, you monkey.
I'm fine, thank you, Happy. I'm fine. Yum, yum, yum. I got my banana.
Can you share the screen?
Oh,
Like,
hi, Barbie.
I think it's frozen.
Thank
Or
you.
you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You're right. I wasn't sharing it properly. Can you see it now? Oh, but you probably can't hear it.
Barbie, say, how are you, Kelly?
Can you hear it as well?
Yeah, I can. I'll watch this.
Ask Monkey how he's doing. Yes, Barbie? Oh, thank you. I am 2 years old. Monkey's a baby. I'm just a baby. Wah, wah, wah. Wow. Hello.
So I think Coach Kelly and Alexa are both really good examples about, and Luigi, all really good examples about how to get a kid's attention, bring your English down to a really low level so that they can understand you. Just use 2- and 3-word sentences and use a lot of energy and smiling to get them on your side. All right, I think that's it for today. Anybody have any questions before we go? Okay, so I'm going to be, no problem. I'll be sending you the document that we opened with, which is about the opportunities for how to test during the class, as well as the checklist, the assessment document, so you know how we are graded as coaches. I think that's all the documents that we need. And if you guys have any questions, just ask on WeChat. It's nice if you ask the whole group on WeChat, the training group, because then other people will get answers to the same question that they probably want to know as well. Thanks a lot, everybody. Nice to see you. I guess we'll do it again next week. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good
Bye.
day.